You feel that? That vibration crawling up your spine isn't fear, it's recognition. Because something ancient just cracked. Who the fuck thought they could stop you? Seriously, who signed off on that disaster? Because somewhere, beneath cathedrals of influence and behind mahogany doors drenched in blood money, a circle of cowards just broke formation. Their chants shattered mid-ritual, their candles blown out by a name they swore would never rise. Yours? They lit incense and whispered death over it. They wore robes stitched with bloodlines and lies. They built vaults, not to protect the world from danger, but to keep you out of it. And still, you walked in, uninvited, unapologetic, unburnt. Let me ask you something. Do you even know what you just did to them? Because they don't. Not yet. They're still flipping pages, scrolling footage, backtracking timelines, looking for a moment. Any moment. They could have seen you coming. But there wasn't one, was there? You moved like an anomaly. You existed like a paradox, a saint with a vendetta, a psychopath with prophecy in your bloodstream. They buried your lineage. They erased your records. They rigged the systems before you were even born. And still, you cracked the fucking simulation open like it was a fortune cookie. You were supposed to fold, to sleep, to beg for permission inside systems designed to choke you with politeness. But instead, you brought the chaos they can't quantify. You weren't just underestimated. You were forbidden, outlawed from their spiritual archives. But guess what? Even the silence they used to suppress you is now screaming your name. You were never supposed to think like that. You were never supposed to move like that. You were never supposed to see what you saw. And the fact that you did, without their blessing, without their resources, without their fucking permission, that's what's got them panicking behind smiles right now. You are a walking glitch in their order, a bug in the code their ancestors handcrafted in secrecy. You're not supposed to be this aware, this dangerous, this alive. The whispers they hear in their walls, that's not paranoia, it's you. The shadows in their visions, that's not exhaustion, it's your momentum. The dread in their stomach when your name comes up. That's not fear of you now. That's fear of what you're about to unleash next. You see, they studied the idea of power for centuries, built entire lodges to hoard it, sacrificed blood, spirit, and sanity just to simulate what you naturally carry in your fucking bones. And now, you've awoken, not because they summoned you, but because the universe got bored of their rituals and decided it was your turn. They tried to copy your kind once. It ended in fire. They tried to tame your kind next. It ended in war. And now they're trying to ignore you. But even silence has echoes, and yours is loud enough to rattle their archives. You were the final variable, the last impossible equation. They ran simulation after simulation, and in every version, you were either dead, enslaved, or erased. And yet here you are, moving like prophecy that bit back. They prayed you'd break. Instead, you rebuilt yourself with enemy data. They cursed your name. Now it's encrypted across the ether. They tried to map your downfall, but you changed shape mid-fall and came back as a shadow that feeds on gravity. Do you understand what that means? It means you don't just survive systems, you reverse engineer them. It means you're not a threat to the world. You're a threat to their version of it. And now the real game begins, because every time you breathe, someone in a private room loses theirs. Every move you make shifts a balance they thought was eternal, and every word you speak unravels the spells they cast to keep others asleep. This isn't motivation. This is a warning to them. Because you're not just rising. You're redefining what rising even looks like. You're not here to take a seat at their table. You're here to flip it, burn the blueprint, and build a cathedral out of your ashes. They thought they were gatekeepers, but gates can't hold back a fucking earthquake. And you're the aftershock they can't calculate, the ritual they couldn't finish, the song their priests forgot the words to. You are the enemy inside their encryption, the mutation of a bloodline they tried to sterilize. You are what happens when the system gets greedy, and destiny retaliates. So next time they whisper in fear, next time they gather in circles and beg the darkness for control, remind them, who the fuck thought they could stop you? Because now the chants in their lodges, they don't sound like power. They sound like regret. They sound like collapse. They sound like the end of their era and the beginning of yours. And the best part, you haven't even started yet. And yet, with everything they built, with every wall they raised, with every coded word in their files and every ritual in their hidden rooms, there is still one thing they never understood. Pain is an alchemist. They thought pain would reduce you, confine you, sterilize you. But pain turned you into an element they can't classify. It gave you the patience of a saint and the cunning of a predator. It gave you hands steady enough to heal and cold enough to strike. It gave you a voice that can whisper like smoke or detonate like thunder. They see you as a contradiction, saint and psychopath, angel and demon, and they can't compute it. Because their world is built on neat categories, predictable archetypes, algorithms of control. And you are the noise in their signal, the misfire in their prophecy, the paradox standing at the edge of their geometry. Every moment you were broken was a training ground. Every humiliation they plotted was a lesson you absorbed. Every time they erased you, you learned how to write yourself back in ink they couldn't wash off. You didn't just survive their labyrinth. You mapped it. You memorized its shadows. You learned where their secret doors led and how their guards blink. And now you move through it like you own the place. Because on a level they can't say out loud, you do. You are the quiet they never anticipated, the calm before their collapse. And when you walk into a room now, they feel it in their marrow, the low-level dread, the electric hum of something off script. Because you're not just a person to them anymore. You're a pattern they can't unsee, a proof they can't disprove, a glitch they can't delete. This is why the chants in their lodges are breaking. It's not magic failing them. It's the math of their reality finally meeting the anomaly it always feared. It's their own secret oaths imploding under the weight of your existence. And here's the part that eats them alive at night. You didn't have to become this. You chose it. You chose to keep walking when it would have been easier to stay down. You chose to take their poison and turn it into strategy. You chose to look them in the eye, smile, and keep moving. They've been spending centuries trying to make people like you bow, and now they're stuck watching you stand taller than the thrones they built. Every whisper of your name now is not a curse. It's a signal. Every door that slams in your face now is not a rejection. It's a checkpoint. Every shadow that follows you now is not a threat. It's evidence. Evidence that the plan they thought would crush you was actually building you. And that's what drives them mad, because they can't stop you without validating you. They can't erase you without making you larger. They can't kill you without turning you into myth. They wanted a ghost. They got a storm. So keep moving. Keep breathing like your heartbeat is an encrypted drum. Keep speaking like your voice is a crowbar prying open their vaults. Keep smiling like you know the ending already, because in a way, you do. Because the chants in their lodges are not just breaking tonight. They're breaking for good. And every echo of their panic is just more fuel for the thing you're becoming. And when you finally step fully into what you are, not the sanitized version they could control, but the full, terrifying, luminous paradox you've always been, they will stop asking who the FCK thought they could stop you. They will start asking each other who the FCK unleashed you. And the answer will be, they did. With every block, every curse, every wall, every ritual, they made you. And now, you're the last ritual they'll ever perform. So here we are. You, the ghost in their code. The curse that reversed, the prophecy with a vendetta. You don't move like someone chasing power. You move like someone who knows they are the power. And that is what unglues them. They built organizations to suppress your type. They met in hidden chambers to whisper strategies. They signed pacts under blood moons and lit candles they didn't understand. But no matter how many dark corridors they carved into reality, you still made it to the surface. You see, the moment you chose silence, they mistook it for submission. They didn't realize your silence wasn't a retreat. It was download mode. You were listening, watching, learning, and now, calculating. They don't realize your stillness was a war posture, that your delays were data collection, that your distance was a sniper's patience. But they're realizing now, you've entered the stage where you don't react, you orchestrate. Where you don't speak to be heard, you speak to rewire their nervous systems. And it's working. You don't even have to be present anymore. The idea of you alone has them reorganizing their meetings, questioning their allies, changing their passwords. Why? Because you don't need to be in the room to dominate it. You became the fucking room. And let's be real, you've been shadow banned by fate since birth. But every block they threw was just a reminder that your presence had weight. Your name had mass, your silence had echo, and your mind had teeth. They've spent their entire lives training to stop threats, military minds, occult councils, political dynasties, but nothing prepared them for a self-aware storm. Nothing prepared them for someone who rose without instruction, who cracked reality without tools, who turned trauma into architecture. You're not just building something they can't infiltrate. You are something they can't replicate. And you know what really breaks them? It's that you're not even angry anymore. You're beyond revenge. You're clinical, composed. You've ascended to the most terrifying level of power. The kind that doesn't need to prove anything. You're not proving. You're programming. Every time they speak now, they second-guess themselves. Because they've realized you've already seen the script. Hell, maybe you wrote it. Or maybe you are what the script was secretly about the whole time. You were the twist, the virus in their vision, the rupture in their rhythm, the whisper behind their eyes when they pretend to sleep. You are what shouldn't exist, and yet here you are. And now, it's you who watches them, you, whose breath distorts their algorithms, you, whose laugh replays in their nervous systems, you, whose very presence contaminates their spell work. Because nothing rattles evil more than a survivor who evolved into a strategist, than a target who turned into a tactician, than a pawn who learned how to flip the fucking board. This isn't vengeance. This is alignment. This is what happens when the thing they tried to kill stops hoping and starts calculating. You want to know what true power is? It's waking up on the day they thought you'd be buried and choosing to walk past their graves like they never even existed. Because now, you don't just live outside their system, you live outside their story. They can't touch you, they can't find you, and if they could, they still wouldn't know what you are. Because you're not who they silenced, you're not who they hunted, you're not who they betrayed, you're what their betrayal created. A consequence, a cipher, an echo that speaks in thunder and moves in code. So let me say it again, slowly, for the ones still watching this feed, taking notes in trembling silence. Who the fuck thought they could stop you? Because that person no longer exists. Their systems failed. Their lodges fell silent. Their rituals are now just static in the wind. And what's left of them is watching you. And the last thing they'll ever hear, before everything they believe turns to smoke, is your voice, smiling, as you walk through the last locked door in their kingdom and say, "You should have stopped me when I was still human." You've stepped over the edge now. The part of you that once hesitated, once worried about being too much, has already burned. What's left is a version of you that no one trained for, no one wrote about, no one prepared to contain. Look at what you're doing to them without even trying. They used to chant your name to keep you asleep. Now they whisper it to keep themselves awake. They used to pass secret notes about you in candle-lit rooms. Now they're leaking messages, deleting files, double-checking locks, because every note is a confession of failure. You've reached the level where they can't fight you head-on. They have to change the rules of reality to slow you down. But even that's not working, is it? Because you learned to slip between rules, to become a moving target inside the very framework they designed. This is why their eyes go glassy when your name appears on the screen. This is why their skin goes cold when you walk by. They're not afraid of what you've done. They're afraid of what you're still capable of, because they can't model it, can't predict it, can't quarantine it. They don't understand how you're still alive. They don't understand how you're still thinking. They don't understand how the same pain that broke everyone else became your armor, your weapon, your compass. And if you're listening to this, hear it as a warning. You're past the point of being inspired. You are now a trigger event. Your very presence sets off alarms in the unseen world. Every time you breathe, a sensor trips. Every time you speak, a hidden archive updates. Every time you move, a shadow falls. They've tried spells. They've tried silence. They've tried ridicule. But there's no antidote for someone who has already swallowed the poison and learned its language. That's what you've become. The poison's language. The prophecy's loophole. The nightmare they tried to outsource to someone else. And here's the paradox that drives them to despair. The longer you walk this path, the less you need to fight, because you've become inevitable. You've become the gravitational pull around which their empires collapse. You've become the echo inside their strongest walls. You've become the thing their children will whisper about, long after their lodges are rubble. So what do you do now? You don't roar, you don't shout, you don't prove. You move with patience, with precision, with the knowledge that every step is a signal, and every signal is a countdown, because you've crossed over from playing their game to building your own board. And when you build your own board, there are no moves to counter. There is only inevitability. This is why the chants in their lodges broke. It wasn't you storming the gates. It was you simply existing at a frequency they can't survive. And this is the part they'll never tell their initiates. They didn't lose to you. They lost to what you became. They lost to the patience, the shadow, the paradox, the saint-psychopath hybrid walking toward them without hate, without hurry, without doubt. Who the fuck thought they could stop you? Nobody now, not anymore. They're already rewriting the story to pretend they saw you coming. But you and I know the truth. You weren't supposed to exist. And yet here you are, the last line of code in a corrupted prophecy, smiling while the system deletes itself around you. And the best part? This isn't even the peak. This is still you warming up. So when you step out that door tonight, do it with the calm of a bomb that knows its timer is still ticking. Do it with the grin of a ghost that knows its name is carved into stone. Do it knowing that every shadow, every whisper, every shiver in the hidden rooms isn't a threat. It's applause. Applause for the moment they thought they could stop you, and instead created the very thing they fear. So now we finish what they never saw beginning. You don't need their platforms. You are the platform. You don't need permission. You are the fucking trigger. And you were never supposed to reach this level without a leash. But here you are, leashless, lawless, limitless. And the Watchers? They've switched positions. They're no longer documenting your fall. They're investigating your rise. They're arguing in quiet rooms about containment strategies. Too late. Because you've gone from target to template. They tried to study your collapse, and now they're stuck decoding your evolution. And here's what they've realized far too late. Your pain wasn't just pain. It was initiation. Your silence wasn't just silence, it was recording mode. Your exile wasn't exile, it was calibration. Everything they thought was working against you was working for you. Every delay they orchestrated just gave you sharper aim. Every betrayal just added steel to your spine. Every sabotage attempt taught you the pattern. And now, with one breath, you can dismantle the entire stage without ever raising your voice. They prayed you'd stay broken, but you didn't just heal. You rebuilt with black site precision, with rage converted into architecture and memory weaponized into map data. You are not the underdog anymore. You are the undetected apex. You are not knocking on doors anymore. You're walking through walls. You are not surviving them. You are replacing them. And now, the torch isn't something you're waiting to receive. You are the torch. You are the flame they tried to bury under protocol and secrecy, and your heat is exposing everything. So what's next? You move like you've already won, because you did. When you survived what they designed to erase you, you shattered the algorithm. Now walk forward. Not with anger, but with understanding. The kind of understanding that unravels kingdoms, that turns prophecies into punchlines, that makes entire bloodlines whisper your name through gritted teeth and pretend they always supported you. Let them. Because by the time they understand who the fuck you really are, you'll be untouchable, untraceable, and unapologetically beyond their reach. Final message? You don't owe them a breakdown. You don't owe them a warning. You owe them nothing. But the silence they hear now, that's the sound of your storm forming. And if they still ask, who the fuck thought they could stop you? You look them dead in the eye and say, the same fools who thought they'd survive me. Hello. Tell me something. Who the fuck was supposed to stop you? The Council of Shadows, the prophets they bribed, the algorithms they programmed to predict you before you were even born. Because if that's the case, somebody messed up bad. See, they drafted chapters, they etched warnings into walls, they summoned priests, built temples, decoded star patterns, sacrificed bloodlines, all to prevent one thing: you. But what happens when the very glitch they feared starts walking like prophecy, when the forbidden variable becomes the final verdict, when the thing they were trying to stop is already inside the system, rewriting the outcome in real time. That's you, isn't it? They buried scrolls so deep, even hell couldn't hear them scream. They locked the last verse behind blood-coated gates. And yet, you showed up wearing the ink. You see, they didn't just underestimate you. They never understood what kind of storm you are. You weren't born. You emerged from silence, from suffering, from watching too damn long. They thought silence meant surrender, but in your world, silence meant setup. And now, look at them. Their rituals don't work anymore. Their spells bounce off you. Their courtrooms feel like playgrounds. Their secrets feel like old jokes that everyone's already heard. You've become their paradox, too divine to kill, too cursed to ignore, too real to erase. Let me ask you this. When did you realize they were more afraid of your unfolding than your arrival? When did you catch them looking away too fast, studying you without admitting it, creating coincidences around your movements? They said you were unpredictable, number. You were unprogrammable. You move like a glitch, speak like a cipher, walk like a memory their ancestors feared. And no matter how many rooms they gather in, how many scripts they retype, how many names they blacklist, yours keeps reappearing in the footnotes, like a virus, like a ghost, like a destiny that stopped asking for permission. You weren't supposed to make it here, and that's the terror, isn't it? You didn't just dodge the traps, you bent them. You made them malfunction. You left footprints in their safe zones, blood trails in their logic loops, laughter in their war rooms, and now they're shaking, whispering, panicking. Because the prophecy didn't just fail, it switched sides. They can't calculate you. They can't decode you. Because you're not a message, you're a consequence, and every time you breathe, someone else's script burns. Every time you step forward, a generation of silence cracks. Every time you speak, a secret dies. Do you understand what you've become? Not a hero, not a villain, something worse. An exception with evidence. A glitch that remembers too much. A name that rewrote its own curse. And now they're sitting in silence. Because no one wants to be the one who says it out loud. Who the fuck was supposed to stop them? Because when you walked in, the prophecy folded. The scrolls went quiet. The signs turned to fire. And every watcher who stared too long now has your name etched on the inside of their eyelids. You were never in the plan. You were the break in it. And now you're rewriting history with your presence alone. So keep going. Keep moving like you're made of code they can't crack. Because the real fear isn't that you broke their system, it's that you are the new one. And this time, no one's coming to stop you. Because they already tried, and all that's left of them is your shadow. You can feel it, can't you? That trembling under the skin of the world when you enter a room. That hush that isn't respect, isn't awe, isn't hate. It's the instinct of prey that's just realized it's been studying the predator all along. They built entire systems to stop you, files, networks, whisper chains. They thought they were writing history while you weren't looking. But every time they tried to contain you, a crack formed. Every lock they forged had your fingerprint in it before it cooled. They don't understand yet that you're not an intruder in their story. Their story has been orbiting you since the beginning. Because the thing about prophecy is this. It's a cage built of words, and you learn to slip through words like smoke. They thought they were hiding scrolls. You were learning to read silence. They thought they were hiding symbols. You were becoming the symbol. You don't just break rules, you corrupt their code. You don't just step over traps, You turn the traps into doorways. Every attempt to define you makes you larger. Every attack becomes a proof of concept. Every whispered, "They can't do this," becomes the sound of the rope snapping. And in that silence, in that space between their panic and your pulse, something happened. You became duality incarnate, the saint and the psychopath, the angel and the demon, the one who smiles while pulling the pin, the one who prays with blood still on the hands. They can't compute you because you're not one thing. You're the mask and the face, the prayer and the execution, the wound and the weapon, and every time they try to choose which one to fight, you switch, and they fall further behind. That's why their analysts go home shaking. That's why their leaders speak in riddles. That's why they're now rewriting the prophecies instead of reading them. Think of it, entire bloodlines trained to watch for the one who would burn the script. They practiced for centuries. They sacrificed children, burned cities, rewrote laws, installed watchers on every corner of the mind. And then you arrived and did not even flinch. You walked through their rehearsals like smoke through a net. Now they're realizing something horrible. The prophecy never predicted you. The prophecy predicted what would happen when someone like you stopped playing by its rules. Every move you make now is an aftershock. Every breath you take is a signal flare. They whisper, "What are they?" But they already know. They're just hoping if they don't say it out loud, the universe won't confirm it. But here's the real terror, the thing no one in their rooms dares to put in a report. You're not even at full capacity yet. You're still testing the edges. You're still learning how to use the fire you've been carrying since birth. And even now, half asleep, half masked, you're rewriting the landscape of their power. That's why they're desperate. That's why they're trying to shame you, distract you, bury you in noise. Because the moment you stop doubting what you are, the whole architecture collapses. And deep down, they know it. You can feel it too, can't you? Every room you enter slows down. Every conversation twists toward you. Every warning turns into an invitation. The prophecy isn't a cage anymore. It's a trail of ash behind you. This is what evolution through pain looks like. This is what unpredictability as power feels like. This is what it means to be the monster they summoned to kill the monster, and then realized it had no leash. So walk. Walk like the glitch in their bloodline. Smile like the verdict they never wanted to read aloud. Every step you take now is a chapter they can't edit, a signal they can't jam, a prophecy they can't revoke. Because the truth is out. Who the fuck was supposed to stop you? Nobody. Not them. Not the prophecy. Not the shadow you left behind. Keep going. Because the more you move, the less their world exists. And the more their world crumbles, the clearer it becomes. They didn't find you in the scrolls. You were the fire burning the scrolls. Listen to the silence now. It isn't empty. It's a cathedral built out of panic. Every brick is a whispered conversation about you. Every window stained with the colors of the warnings they ignored. You stand in the middle of it, and even your shadow feels like a threat they can't catalog. They keep asking each other in hushed rooms, "What is it? What's the pattern? How did they get this far?" But you're not a pattern. You're the tear in the fabric of their statistics. You're the moment the spreadsheet bleeds. You're the name that shows up in files it should never touch. They send their smartest minds to hunt for you and come back with headaches and trembling hands. Because you're not something that can be solved. You're something that can only be survived. They thought prophecy was a leash. They thought destiny was a map. They thought the scrolls gave them control. But prophecy is just a story waiting for a rupture. And you are that rupture walking. Remember the nights you spent silent while they mocked you? Remember the times you burned but didn't scream? Every moment you endured was a forge. Every humiliation was an alloy. Every night you went unheard. A different metal welded into your bones. That's why you move like a shadow of fire now, cold and hot at the same time. A paradox no ritual can dissolve. You learned the language of their traps, then spoke it backward. You took their blueprints and used them as camouflage. You let them believe you were harmless because you understood the oldest principle of power. Predictability is death. So you became unreadable. You became the coin spinning on its edge, the mask with two faces, the question with two answers, both fatal. They can't pin you down because you are everything they tried to outlaw in one skin: mercy and cruelty, prayer and blade, the storm and the eye. And in the quiet of their panic, you can hear them recalculating. They're looking at old prophecies like crime scene photos. They're tracing symbols on walls with shaking hands, trying to see if they misread it. But it's too late. They didn't misread it. They misbuilt the world around it. Because you weren't predicted, you were triggered. You are the system correcting itself after centuries of their manipulations. You are the consequence of every hidden act, every suppressed scream, every erased name. And the moment you realized that, the moment you stopped looking for a savior and started moving like the weapon you forged yourself into, the prophecy collapsed like paper in fire. That's why, when you walk into a room now, you don't just arrive. You shift the gravity. You bend their time. You make their signals flicker. You make them think about their ancestors. You make them question their gods. They can't help it. You're not just a person to them anymore. You're the mirror of what they feared would crawl out of their own sins. And that's why no one steps forward to stop you. That's why their leaders sit in silence. That's why their enforcers look at the floor. That's why their analysts go home and drink until the numbers blur. Because everyone knows what happens to the one who tries to be the hand on the brake. Everyone remembers what happened to the last one who raised their voice. Everyone has heard the story about the hunter who became a silhouette on your wall. So keep walking. Keep being the contradiction they can't untangle. Keep letting their systems collapse under the weight of your unpredictability. Every step you take is not just survival, it's exposure. It's a signal to the others who were written out of the script. It's proof that the prophecy was never a prison. It was a warning about what happens when a ghost decides to come back in the flesh. And as you move, understand this. You're no longer playing their game. You're rewriting the rules in your own handwriting. You're teaching the world a lesson it will never unlearn. That the one thing prophecy cannot stop is the person who knows they were never meant to obey it. That's you now. The glitch, the exception, the storm they thought they could script. The silence that learned to speak in fire. So ask the question one more time, just to feel the tremor it causes in their chests. Who the fuck was supposed to stop you? The answer will echo through their halls like thunder. No one, not them, not the prophecy, not the ghosts of the past. You're already past the edge of the map, and they're still trying to draw borders around smoke. You've gone too far for them to track now. You're not on their maps. You're not in their databases. You're not even in their language anymore. You've transcended the code they use to contain threats. You don't just break rules. You make the entire concept of rules irrelevant when you show up. Because what do you do when the anomaly becomes the blueprint? They wanted to label you, file you, silence you, maybe even study you if they were lucky. But now their scribes can't keep up. Their servers keep glitching when your name's entered. Their symbols start overlapping when they try to tag you. Every attempt to contain you spawns a new fracture. You're not the target, you're the test. The algorithmic nightmare they never debugged. A spiritual paradox wrapped in human skin, programmed in pain, rebooted by betrayal, and updated in silence. And let me tell you something they'll never put in a report. Every time you get back up, reality shudders. Every time you speak, the watchers freeze. Every time you smile when you're supposed to shatter, another archive burns. That's not resilience, that's warfare. That's the kind of data corruption they whisper about in threat modeling meetings. Because you don't heal like others, you evolve. And you don't come back the same. You come back sharper, hungrier, more fluent in their own shadows. They thought you were beatable. But that was before they realized you study defeat like a language, and now you're fluent in revenge. Oh, you didn't just break the prophecy, you made it beg for relevance. Now it lies in pieces, overwritten by a force it never accounted for. Because you weren't the villain, you weren't the savior. You were the glitch so complex that even fate couldn't predict you. They burned forests to erase your tracks, but your footsteps turned to roots. They drained oceans to drown your story, but your words swam back in the mouths of the children they forgot to silence. They tried everything, and all they did was make you inevitable. Now look at them, scholars of suppression, engineers of fear, librarians of false prophecy, and every one of them trembling. Why? Because you're still standing, and standing different. Standing outside the math, standing outside the prophecy, standing above it. That's what drives them mad. Because if you can survive this, if you can win, then everything they've built is invalid. Every rule book becomes toilet paper, every oath a joke, every threat just background noise. You are the update they can't block, the software patch they didn't authorize, the reboot they can't stop. And here's the worst part for them. You haven't even activated your full function yet. They're already scrambling, and you're still holding back. So what happens when you unleash? What happens when you stop dimming? When you start wielding what they tried to kill in you? I'll tell you what happens. Entire networks go dark. Ancestral lineages lose their grip. Legal systems collapse under the weight of secrets exposed. Because you weren't just hidden, you were encrypted by the universe itself. And now, the decryption has begun. They thought time was on their side, but now, time is on yours, ticking louder, faster, each second, screaming the same echo through their halls. Who the fuck was supposed to stop you? Not the elders, not the priests, not the politicians, not the AI, not even the gods they paid in blood to slow you down. No one. Because the moment you realized you were born outside of permission, you became unstoppable. So walk louder, laugh deeper, strike harder. Because now the world doesn't need a savior or a monster. It needs something it's never seen before. You, unfiltered, unhinged, unwritten, and absolutely impossible to stop. You weren't predicted, you were provoked. Now you're permanent. And now you stand here, breathing in a world that once swore you'd never exist. Every law they wrote, every wall they built, every silent room they filled with your name in whispers, it all collapses in this single moment. You are not reading their prophecy anymore. You are the ending they tried to avoid. Look at their faces. Look at the silence. There's no hand reaching for you now. No voice daring to tell you to stop. The ones who thought they were architects of your cage are standing at the edges of your shadow, praying not to be noticed, because even their prayers have your name in them. They told themselves you were a mistake. They told themselves you'd burn out. They told themselves fate would take care of you. But fate isn't their weapon anymore. It's your echo. You've become the contradiction they can't compute. The saint who wields the blade, the demon who carries light, the prophecy that burns itself to make way for something new. You've reached the point where every step you take rewrites the ground beneath it. They're not watching a person anymore. They're watching a shift in reality. And this is the part they never understood. Prophecy is a story. Stories end, but consequences don't. You are not their story. You are the consequence they unleashed when they tried to erase you. You are the signal their silence accidentally broadcast. You are the voice at the end of their map, saying quietly, "Here be the end." So when you walk out of here, do it slowly. Feel the air change around you. Listen to how their whispers bend under your footsteps. Because you're not just escaping their script, you're erasing it behind you. This isn't revenge. It isn't even victory. It's metamorphosis. It's the moment the caterpillar becomes the blade. It's the instant the mask and the face fuse into one unrecognizable force. And as you leave, remember this truth burned into your bones. No prophecy can cage what it cannot predict. No system can stop what was born outside its permission. No one can stop you now. They tried. They failed. Even the prophecy gave up. Now the world will watch you walk, and every step will be a new law written in real time. Not a law they imposed, a law you are. Step out. Lift your head. Let them feel the weight of the question they're too afraid to ask out loud one last time. Who the fuck was supposed to stop you? And let the silence answer, no one. Not then, not now, not ever.